It sounds almost impossible. A prince of the realm, once among the most privileged men in Britain, now standing on the edge of something no royal has faced in modern history, the real possibility of jail time. Yet, behind the gilded gates of Buckingham Palace, whispers are growing louder. What started as a scandal has now evolved into something darker, something that even the most loyal royalists can no longer ignore. Because, for Prince Andrew, or rather, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, as he is now officially known, the walls are closing in. And according to new reports, the storm that's brewing could drag the entire royal family into its path. Last week, the palace made the announcement that shook the monarchy once again. Andrew would no longer be referred to as a prince, and his eviction from Royal Lodge, the sprawling estate he has long called home, was officially confirmed. For many, it was the final nail in a royal coffin already sealed by disgrace. But for others inside those marble corridors, it was only the beginning. Because now, a new and potentially explosive twist has emerged. One that might not just destroy Andrew's reputation, but could also hand prosecutors the ammunition they've been quietly waiting for. Sources from within the palace have revealed that one royal figure, and not just any royal, but Queen Camilla herself, was tipped off about further embarrassing emails between Andrew and the late Jeffrey Epstein. Emails that, according to those in the know, contained financial details, transactions, and communications that could reopen the floodgates of legal trouble. According to The Sun, Queen Camilla was warned by someone close to her that these yet unseen emails might soon surface, and that they contained further embarrassing material, this time relating directly to Andrew's finances. And if that's true, it means this scandal is far from over. The report goes even further. It suggests that U.S. prosecutors, who are still sorting through tens of thousands of pages of evidence linked to Epstein's vast financial web, have uncovered tens of millions of dollars in questionable transactions. Transactions that could connect back to people and places long thought to be safely out of reach. One palace insider reportedly put it bluntly. Camilla was told that there's more coming, and that it's not just embarrassing, it's dangerous. Those words alone sent shockwaves through the royal household. It's no secret that Queen Camilla has become one of the most influential figures behind the royal curtain. For years, she's been quietly steering the monarchy through turbulent waters. And this time, it seems she took the wheel once again. According to multiple sources, Camilla played a decisive role in persuading King Charles to act. The reports say she warned the king directly, telling him that the family could not afford to be blindsided again. Not after Epstein, not after Ghislaine Maxwell, and certainly not with the monarchy's credibility already hanging by a thread. And so, within hours, the order was given. Prince Andrew, once His Royal Highness, once Duke of York, once the Queen's favorite son, was stripped of every remaining title, privilege, and honor. His name was formally removed from the official roll of the peerage, effectively erasing him from royal history. A royal aide who spoke to People magazine later noted that the palace's statement had a female touch, a hint that Camilla and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, had quietly but firmly guided the tone of the announcement. I would think the Queen had a hand in that, the source said. There would have been a push from Camilla and Catherine. In other words, this wasn't just a king's decision. It was a result of a royal consensus, led by the women of the family who refused to let another scandal destroy the crown. Then came the part that truly broke through the palace walls, the eviction notice. The official royal statement, issued on October 30th, 2025, was blunt, almost cold in its precision. Andrew's lease on Royal Lodge has, to date, provided him with legal protection to continue in residence. Formal notice has now been served to surrender the lease, and he will move to alternative private accommodation. For years, Royal Lodge had been Andrew's fortress, a sanctuary where he believed his royal blood could still protect him from the consequences of his actions. But with that single sentence, the fortress fell. The statement continued with words that seemed to mark the end of an era. These censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny the allegations against him. And then came the final line, one that many saw as the king's way of drawing a moral line in the sand. Their Majesties wish to make clear that their thoughts and utmost sympathies have been and will remain with the victims and survivors of any and all forms of abuse. Those words were heavy. They carried the echo of an institution desperate to separate itself from a man once born to represent it. But beneath all the royal formalities lies a far more dangerous reality, one that could lead to criminal charges. The mention of questionable transactions tied to Epstein's empire raises serious questions about whether Andrew benefited financially from that toxic relationship. Prosecutors in the U.S. are reportedly combing through millions of dollars that move through offshore accounts, shell companies, and luxury assets, a complex web where Andrew's name, or the names of his associates, might appear. If any of those trails lead back to him, it could mean more than just embarrassment. It could mean indictments, court appearances, or even extradition. Legal experts have already begun speculating. Some say that while Andrew's previous settlement with Virginia Giuffre shielded him from certain civil liabilities, it does not protect him from potential financial or criminal investigations tied to Epstein's network. That means if prosecutors connect even a single thread between Andrew's accounts and Epstein's shadowy transfers, the consequences could be devastating, not just for Andrew, but for the royal family itself. Amid the chaos stands Sarah Ferguson, Andrew's ex-wife, and perhaps his last loyal ally. She, too, was mentioned in the palace decree, which stated plainly that neither Andrew Mountbatten Windsor nor Sarah Ferguson must use any official royal titles. It's a quiet humiliation for a couple who once defined royal romance in the late 1980s. Yet, those close to them say Foju remains steadfast, living under the same roof, defending him in public, and claiming he is a man of honor. But even she must now see what the rest of the world does. The tide is no longer turning in his favor. What makes this story almost unbelievable is how far the mighty have fallen. From walking beside his mother, the late Queen Elizabeth II, at official events to being erased from the family's digital records, Andrew's decline has been both public and irreversible. And if the whispers inside the palace are true, if those new emails, those financial revelations, and those unseen documents truly exist, then this isn't just about losing titles. It's about losing freedom. Because at some point, the question will shift from should Andrew remain a royal to should Andrew face justice. For now, Buckingham Palace is silent. Camilla remains poised, Charles appears resolute, and the rest of the family carries on with their duties, hoping the storm will pass.